party's interim committee. The party in the province has been rocked by internal squabbles. The two-day program will include alliance partners. Regional and provincial conferences are set to take place at the end of March and April, respectively. Newzroom Afrika's Athi Mtongana joins us live now for more on the story. Athi, good morning to you. And, you know, as we say in that intro that there have been so many internal squabbles that we've heard of within the Western Cape, what could we possibly expect the former president to address with these squabbles and within the Western Cape?
Yes, Secho, as you have mentioned, the regional and provincial ANC conferences are due to take place by the end of this month in March as well as April, respectively. Those are the confirmations that we got the last time we got to speak to the African National Congress here in the province. The interim provincial committee convener confirmed then that they are ready to host these conferences, but I think we can see then that the former president of the African National Congress, Thabo Mbeki, is now arriving in Cape Town, in Salt River, where he's going to engage the party leadership as well as alliance partners, as you have mentioned, Tsecho. So I just want to perhaps talk to these visuals then as he arrives, and the fact that the African National Congress here in the Western Cape has had some issues regarding internal squabbles over the past few years, so much so that they had to disband, for instance, the NEC, well, the Provincial Executive Committee, rather, as well as the Dula Oma region, which is one of their biggest regions here in the Western Cape. So what he'll be doing is to basically try and speak to the leadership of the African National Congress and get a sense of the developments in this particular province. I'm sure you can see now he's been flanked by members of the African National Congress here in Cape Town. These are the members of the provincial interim committee who are going to be speaking to former President Thabo Mbeki. But I want to bring in then the spokesperson as they go brief him. Sifiso Mtsweni, thank you so much for your time. He's arriving now, and what are you expecting to brief him now as he proceeds with the delegation inside?
Well, good morning, Athi, and the viewers. Indeed, today, the ANC in the province, as you know, we've been involved in a very intensive program to renew the ANC in the province. So today, we've decided to invite the former president of the ANC just to share a few ideas in terms of what is our own roadmap as we rebuild the province, but also tap from his wisdom to say, what does he think would work best? As you know, the last time the ANC was in power in this province, President Mbeki was still the president of the ANC and the president of the country. And the province was quite characterized by racialism. It was very strong in areas that it is weak in today. So part of what we want to do really is to tap into his wisdom and really hear from him what are some of the things that we need to do in order to really renew the organization in the province.
I'm interested to find out, Sifiso, why now? Because even when the Provincial Executive Committee was disbanded by the NEC, that was not something that you thought about, I presume. I'm trying to gauge as to the urgency now. Is it because you are leading up to conference?
Well, just a quick reminder, the Provincial Executive Committee was disbanded in 2019. Part of the reason was because it had run its term. As you know, the term is 4 years. So this task team in particular, it was characterized by unity because different generations were brought together. And we were given a specific period and a time frame to say renew the organization, make sure that branches are there, go to elections, immediately after elections go to conference. But we don't just want to go to conference for compliance purposes. We want to go to conference with proper functional structures of the ANC. And that's why President Mbeki is the first. We're going to continue inviting stalwarts of the movement and really share their ideas, but also take them to the structures on the ground so that they are able to also share such information with them.
It's good that you mentioned that the PEC was disbanded in 2019, hence the formation of the IPC. But why has it taken so long then to get that solid leadership because, of course, we know that the interim provincial committee was there for a certain period of time. It was not something that was going to be on a permanent basis. But since 2019, why haven't we seen a solid leadership structure here in this province?
Well, it was August 2019. By March 2020, there was COVID-19. All of us were locked up. There couldn't be much to be done. Immediately after, COVID restrictions were sort of eased, there was elections. So you can't really count 2020 as a year. 2021, as I said, is characterized by elections. It's only now that really the provincial cohort that was appointed must then take the province to conference. And I think you can already see the mood is there. The branches are sitting as I'm speaking to you today. The roadmap, we are on course. Western Cape will have a provincial conference.
As I let you go, the ANC in the Western Cape has been characterized by internal squabbles. The last time I spoke to the convener, Lerumo, he obviously mentioned this particular issue, the internal squabbles that have played out in the public domain. Now, you speak of the regional conferences. Are you ready for the provincial conference, given the internal squabbles that have rocked this province?
Well, I would take it that the convener would have referred to where the province comes from. What has been characterized in the organization the last few months has been cohesion. As I said, this IPC is an IPC that has got stalwarts: Ibrahim Rasool, James Ngulu, Mcebisi Skwacha, everybody else, the late Songez Omjongile. The reason why this collective was put together was to ensure that different generations come together, people with different experiences, and really bring out the potential of the ANC in the Western Cape. I can tell you now, by the time the provincial conference of the ANC sits in this province, there won't be, it will sit by the end of May. There won't be any chairs throwing, there won't be any fighting. We're going to have a conference characterized by unity, characterized by content, because by 2024, we really want to make a run for this particular province.
Sifiso Mtsweni, thank you so much for your time. The spokesperson for the African National Congress here in the Western Cape, and I'm sure you've seen, Thabo, then the arrival of former president of the ANC and of the country, Thabo Mbeki, arriving there, briefing him now in a holding room, and once that is concluded, he will then brief the rest of the members and alliance partners, and then we'll get to speak to him and find out what wisdom he's here to share with the ANC in the Western Cape.
Athi Mtongana out in Cape Town in the Western Cape for us. Thank you so much for that.